Welcome to Clartingggg Cancer, your #1 podcast where we keep it real. Grab a cup of tea and chill out with me, your host, Antique, aka Miss Vintage Twang, Miss Butterfly Queen, the composer, vocalist and lyricist, qualified practitioner and empowerment influencer. Hi, I'm Antique. I'm a composer, vocalist and an empowerment influencer, and I am your host, Miss Vintage Twang, aka Miss Butterfly Queen. I have a lot of other AKAs which I will let you know about as we go along, as we proceed indeed. Right, so I phoned my doctor and my doctor was really nice about it, and she was like, oh, it's probably like a swollen gland. So, and I'm like, I don't think it is, you know, but obviously you're the doctor. Sorry, I just saw a wasp where I am. Hi doctor, I've got this lump. Now my recommendation is honestly just get on it straight away. Like, don't be like, oh, I don't know, I'm scared and all these things and kind of ignore it. Don't do that. Like, call up your doctor straight away. Where it was in COVID, like, we couldn't see anyone face to face, so that was a problem and that delayed things. It's probably a bit better now, but wherever you are in the world and however your system is, over here we have the NHS. Just get onto it straight away. That's my advice. I've got this lump. Where is it? Explained everything. Also explained how I was feeling. Around that time, I didn't really feel any other symptoms, to be honest with you. I just noticed the throat thing and I noticed the lump. And I probably wouldn't have checked to see if there was a lump, and probably would have been none the wiser that there was even a lump if I hadn't gone on Google, because who really like fills up their body and starts caressing their collarbone? I don't. You might. I don't. I'm glad I went on Google. Do you get what I'm saying? Thank goodness for Google. So definitely research and definitely call the doctor. So I called the doctor. The doctor was like, her name's Dr. U. Big up Dr. U. Yeah, Y-O-U-I. She was like, yeah, don't worry. It's probably just a swollen gland. Let's wait a week, see if it goes down. I'm thinking, this ain't no swollen gland. This is not going down, but okay, that's the procedure. So I did that. So I waited from like the 15th, 17th of February 2021. I'm like, bruv, the thing's not going down. So I'm calling back. I'm like, yeah, it's not going down. Oh, give it another couple of days or so or whatnot, and then we're seeing, then maybe get you in. But because of COVID, I think they was a bit reluctant to get people in, but I really needed a face-to-face. So at that point, I started to feel nauseous, like rapidly. My appetite went, like I couldn't eat anything. I felt very, very fatigued. At the time, I was describing it as tired, but it's like the energy in my body just drained out, and I just didn't have energy. Like I was like, oh, yeah, like that kind of thing. It was just, I was depleted of energy. At that point, I was like, no, I need to call them back again. So I did. And that's when I got another doctor, and he was like, come in for a face-to-face. So the best thing to do, just write everything down so you can just read off the paper what is going on with you, because if you get another doctor, you have to keep repeating yourself and explaining what is going on. And if every doctor has a different way of dealing with things, a different perspective and a different approach. Maybe he would have said to me a week ago, come in, where she said, oh, leave it, you know what I mean? Nearly 2 weeks now, and I'm starting to feel fatigue and my energy's starting to drain and I can't eat, my appetite's gone. And I love food. I love food so much. Like, I really do. These things weren't normal for me. And the lump was still there. It wasn't painful, but it was still there. The doctor asked me to come in, and on the phone, he said, yes, you need to come in for a face-to-face to have an examination. And I was like, this is him to rule out a spectrum of things and to look and see if there's any other things. At this point, the doctors don't want to say, oh, they think it's this, think it's that. And they're general. Your GP is your general doctor, practitioner. So it's like they're just trying to diagnose to then refer you on to wherever you need to be referred to get a proper diagnosis. I said, what, to rule out things like cancer? And he's like, yeah, but we don't know that, so just come in. So I went in, did that. He felt this, that, here, there, everywhere around, and he was like, yeah, I think we need to refer you to a specialist. So at this point in my head, even though I'm saying it's cancer, I knew, my intuition came in. I just had this thing where I just knew for some reason, and I thought in my head, I'm not thinking like, yeah, it is. Like, it wasn't a confirmation. It's like, it's not like I was in denial. It was just, I don't know, it didn't process. Even though I was saying what I was saying, it didn't process into my mind, like, this is it. And then I didn't know if it was it, what that brings, you know? It was a lot. It was a lot. It was, I did break down because the fear of the fact that if it was cancer, like, I didn't want to die. I just broke down and dropped to the floor, and I just started to pray to God, like, God, please, I want to live. That's all I kept saying, is I want to live, I want to live, I want to live, I want to live, I want to live. That's all I could think of, is I don't want to die, I want to live. Yeah, that's the only thing that happened to me emotionally at that point. Otherwise, in between that, it was like I was still getting on with life to a degree, but I was more trying to find ways of getting on with my life, feeling really drained and trying to think, what am I going to eat? And I was sleeping a lot, so it's like things started to change rapidly. And I was trying to still continue with my creativity as well. That's one thing that has helped me throughout the process. I got referred, and there is a guy doing opera. I know you can hear him because I can hear him. He's got really good projection. Anyway, let's not get distracted. I then got on with life, and then it was like a week passed, and I started to deteriorate in my fatigue, and I wasn't eating, and I just started feeling very, very unwell. I just felt unwell. Like, you could tell as well, my family could tell something's not right with me. I called back the doctor, and I said to him, this is what's happening, and I was writing down every day everything that was happening, so when I do go and speak to whomever, I got it there, because I can't remember what's going on right now at this point. So rapidly I started to deteriorate and become very unwell. I was not eating, and I was losing weight. I did tell a few people around that time, but not many people. I kept it to myself. I phoned up the doctor again, and he was like, have you not been referred? This was another doctor. I said, yeah, I've been referred, but it's going to take about 2 weeks from now. He said, no, that's too long to wait. We need to get you a referral where it's like Speedy Gonzala. So I was like, yes, I think that's true. We need to do that. I think you're right. So I was really happy to speak to that doctor. So one thing I would say is, don't leave it. Don't wait for your appointments. Keep phoning and keep saying, I need my appointment quicker. I need my appointment quicker. Because had I spoke to that doctor straight away, or even been like examined by him, he would have been like, yeah, 2-week referral. So he gave me a 2-week referral. What happened is I received a letter, and in that time of receiving the letter, it had a big font saying suspected cancer. So I'm like, no one ever told me it was suspected cancer, because in my head I knew, but it's like the doctor just said, we're going to refer you for investigation, not suspected cancer. Do you get what I mean? So that was a shock to me. And it's like I found out that I'm going for an investigation for suspected cancer before anyone told me that I was going to be doing that, before anybody informed me. And that was quite hard to deal with, because it's just your head's trying to get round it, and your emotions are processing, and your spirit's trying to process it, and then you're like, but yeah, I've got to still do this. And if it is, you don't know what that holds, because I didn't know anything about cancer. Yeah, so I prepared myself and I got ready, And I walked into the hospital. I was very, very anxious, walking through the corridors, walking into the department, and I sat down on the chair and looked around, and I was like, wow, like this is actually happening. Like, is this real? Like, I was like, is this real? I was like, is this real? So I waited and waited and waited. It felt like forever. And then the doctor come out and called my name, and there was all kind of things going through my head. And I went in. The doctor called me, I went in, and I shut the door.
Hello. Hi, how are you? Please take a seat.
Sat down, and I'll tell you on the next episode.
Don't forget to drop a comment in the comment section or leave a message, as I'd love to hear your thoughts and answer any questions within the up and coming podcast. This is your host, Antique. I am open and I welcome you. Stay tuned for more on Clartingggg Cancer.